Hey, I'm Atlanta City Council member Andre Dickens. For years, we have gathered together to walk and to stay healthy. Well, we're not going to let COVID-19 cancel our annual appointment. This year, the 6th annual Senior Walk and Exercise class is going virtual. Now join me Friday, October 2nd at noon for virtual exercise and activities that you can do from your own home.
7, 6.
Fitness pro Leslie Mangum will lead class with workouts catered for seniors. So go to bit.ly/Senior Walk 2020 to get registered for this free event, which will be live streamed on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and Atlanta Channel 26. Okay, now lace up your tennis shoes, grab your towel, grab your bottled water, and your laptop or phone, and let's get it going, seniors. I'll see you online.
So glad you could take a few moments out for Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson.
The FDA plans to issue more stringent standards for emergency use authorization of a COVID-19 vaccine. Agency officials say the goal of the guidance is to provide more transparency and increase public trust. The FDA will require vaccine manufacturers to closely follow clinical trial volunteers for at least 2 months after they receive a second dose of the vaccine. FDA officials are also asking that trials identify a determined number of severe cases of COVID in those who received a placebo during the trials. Few pharmaceutical companies are expected to have these results by November. That's a drone carrying a package for delivery. Inside, an at-home COVID-19 self-collection kit. Walmart teams up with Quest Diagnostics and drone provider Drone Up to kick off the trial deliveries in North Nevada and New York next month. Kits will be delivered within a 1-mile radius of specific Walmart supercenters. There's no fee for delivery or the kit for those who elect to receive their test at home. Customers can conduct a self-administered nasal swab and then send the sample back with a prepaid shipping label. Walmart expects the results of the trial will inform how the company will use drone delivery in the future.
Antonio Brown, look at him go.
5 NFL teams face fines after their head coaches failed to wear their face masks during their games. Head coaches Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints and John Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders are named among the latest to be fined $100,000 apiece. Other teams facing fines for coaches who failed to adhere to the policy: the Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos, and the San Francisco 49ers. Halloween will take on a new look this year. The CDC posts guidelines that do not support the standard trick-or-treating events. Tradition will have to take a back seat to safety in order to protect little ones from COVID-19 transmission. The guidelines, which are split into low, moderate, and high risk, also warn against haunted houses, which could lead to screaming, another potential infection route. The safest option, the CDC suggests pumpkin carving with the family, or outside with a safe social distance, or scavenger hunts. Officials also say costume masks are no substitute for cloth masks, but warn against wearing both, saying that a cloth mask with a Halloween theme is the safer option.
School lunches, new roads, Medicaid. Did you know that funding for these and other critical services are determined by data from the census?
Atlanta City Council member Carla Smith reminds us about Census 2020. You can register online, by phone, or by mail. The deadline is fast approaching. Go to atlcounts.org. That's atlcounts.org.
That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next edition of Stay at Home Connect.
Each election year, I'm reminded of the sacrifices that were made so that I could exercise my right to vote. I think about the fear that must have gripped the hearts of those who placed themselves in harm's way, opening the door for me, you, and future generations. These were incredibly courageous men and women. Among them, our nation's greatest civil rights leaders, Hosea Williams, C.T. Vivian, and Congressman John Lewis, and others who risked their lives so that we could cast our ballots freely. Let us not take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member Andrea Boone, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October 5th. Go to registertovote.SOS.GA.GOV. That's registertovote.SOS.GA.GOV. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Register and vote. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Atlanta City Council member Andre Dickens. Census 2020 is upon us. The results of the census impact every aspect of our daily lives. Congressional representation, funding for schools, roads, and even hospitals. It's all determined by data from the census. It's just a few easy questions and will only take 10 minutes to complete. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. ATL counts. Census 2020. Atlanta is counting on you.
Each election year, I'm reminded of the sacrifices that were made so that I could exercise my right to vote. I think about the fear that must have gripped the hearts of those who placed themselves in harm's way, opening the door for me, you, and future generations. These were incredibly courageous men and women. Among them, two of our nation's greatest civil rights leaders, Reverend C.T. Vivian and Congressman John Lewis, who risked their lives so that we could cast our ballots freely. Let's not take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member Michael Julian Bond, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October 5th. Go to registertovote.SOS.GA.GOV. That's registertovote.SOS.GA.GOV. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Use your power. Get registered and vote. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Atlanta City Council member Andre Dickens. For years, we have gathered together to walk and to stay healthy. Well, we're not going to let COVID-19 cancel our annual appointment. This year, the 6th annual Senior Walk and Exercise class is going virtual. Now join me Friday, October 2nd at noon for virtual exercise and activities that you can do from your own home.
7, 6.
Fitness pro Leslie Mangum will lead class with workouts catered for seniors. So go to bit.ly/Senior Walk 2020 to get registered for this free event, which will be live streamed on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and Atlanta Channel 26. Okay, now lace up your tennis shoes, grab your towel, grab your bottled water, and your laptop or phone, and let's get it going, seniors. I'll see you online.
Hello, I'm Atlanta City Council President Felicia Moore. Did you know the United States has been counting its population since 1790? Census 2020 is fast approaching. Your participation is crucial as it helps to determine where schools, hospitals, and new homes are built, among other services. Billions of federal dollars are allocated based upon census data. The questions are easy, and it should only take you a few minutes. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. ATL counts. Census 2020. Atlanta is counting on you.
The Utilities Committee citizens is the September 29th meeting.
You were distorted, Madeline. I didn't hear any of that.
Well, I bet you can guess what I said, but thank you for letting me know that. Can you hear me better now?
That's better, a lot better.
Okay, great, thanks. This is the September 29th meeting of the City Utilities Committee. My name is Madeline Archibong. I am the chair, and I was asking our analyst, Mr. Jared Evans, to do a roll call of members present, please.
Thank you. Madeline Mosley Archibong.
Here.
Councilmember Andrea L. Boone.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Hillis. Here. Councilmember J.P. Matsakite. Councilmember Joyce Shepard.
Present. Present.
Councilmember Howard Shook. Aye. Councilmember CLETA Winslow.
Present.
There are 6 members present.
All right, thank you.
And I'll be and Madam Chair, I'll be voice voting again. Okay. Thank you.
This is Councilmember Winslow. Okay,
Winslow,
thank you for
yes.
that. All right, we do have a quorum, and with that, we
Councilmember Moore present as well.
I didn't hear you.
Councilmember Moore is here as well. Hello.
All right, Council President Moore has joined us. Thank you. Good morning. All right, thank you. Next, I'll have Mr. Evans read our remote meeting statement.
This City Utilities Committee is being conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with OCGA 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by dialing 1-877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, September 25th public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlanta.gov, the City Council's YouTube channel, or the City Council's Facebook and Twitter pages via @ATL Council. All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council City Utilities Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available Friday, September 25th via atlantacitygA.iqm2.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments via voicemail at 404-330-6057 between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. on the day before this meeting. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of the meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents have been distributed to committee members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
All right, thank you for reading that. The next order is the adoption of the agenda. Colleagues, understand that we do have a walk-in paper regarding slope mowing. It is a paper to correct some administrative errors that happened in putting the legislation into ELMS, and so I would make a motion that we amend the agenda for the purpose of accepting that walk-in paper. It is a resolution.
Second by Shook.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, this will be an electronic vote. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you.
Vote is closed.
Thank you. That's unanimous. Next, I'll entertain a motion for the acceptance of or approval of the minutes.
So moved, Shook.
Thank you. All right, I'll second that. If there's no other discussion, please open the vote. This is an electronic vote.
The vote is open. Would everyone please vote?
Ms. Winslow, how did you vote? How do you vote?
In favor. In favor.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the vote is closed. 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. That's unanimous. Now let's go back to the adoption of the agenda. I made a motion to amend the agenda, but I think we now need to vote on the adoption of the agenda as amended.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Can we open that vote, please?
The vote is open.
And we'll have the same mover for me and Mr. Shook as a second. Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
All right, thank you.
The vote is closed. 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. So now we are to section F, public comment. Do we have any public comment, Mr. Abbott?
There is one.
Okay. Will we please play that comment?
Greetings to you, council members and staff, and special greetings to you, citizens of Atlanta, who care about what your elected officials are doing. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. My comments relate to the People TV update we scheduled from the last meeting. Since we now have to make our comments before presentations and no longer after presentations, I can only dare to hope that the TV update will include reasons for members assigned to fill positions representing city government. I speak specifically about the 4 People TV board slots allocated to the City Council and the 3 People TV board slots allocated to the Mayor's office. These empty slots need to be filled with community-conscious grassroots citizens who believe in public television and who can ensure that notices of People TV board meetings can get out to the public in accordance with the Georgia Open Meetings Act. While you're taking these actions, People TV can once again put eyes on Neighborhood Planning Unit R by revitalizing the project called NPU on TV. The world needs to know how it is that 1% of the NPUR population of 20,000 can be legally represented by the NPUR 9. Antonita Robinson, Paulus Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Renette L. Scott, Alfred White, Allison Hathaway, and the NPUR 9 cohort.
That concludes the public comment. All right, thank you. And colleagues, that does bring us to the next order of business, which is, in fact, the presentation from People TV. Is Patricia Creighton, the general manager of People TV, Inc., on the line at this point?
She's not yet on the line. Would the committee like to move to?
I would like to move forward with the legislative item. Colleagues, we will be taking a paper under 8. We do not have any first reads, and we do not have any second reads, and so we do have a paper that currently isn't held. It is item number 2 that is ready to move forward. Mr. Evans, please read that legislative item.
Item number 2, 19R5322. There's a substitute in your packet which will change the caption and fill in some blanks. Would the committee like to move the substitute forward?
I'll entertain into that if that.
Shook so moves.
All right, I'll second that motion. If there's no discussion, please open the vote.
The vote is open. Would everyone please vote?
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
All right, thank you.
The vote is closed. 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. Would you read in the substitute, please? The substitute is now before.
A resolution by Council members J.P. Matskite and Dustin Hillis as substituted by City Utilities Committee. A substitute resolution to authorize payment of stipulated penalties imposed by the Environmental Protection Agency and the Environmental Protection Division of the Department of Natural Resources of the State of Georgia in the amount of $8,500.00 as stipulated penalties for failure to maintain adequate operational standards due to a failure to collect and test a fecal coliform grab sample at the East Area Water Quality Control Facility on July 17, 2020, pursuant to the CSO consent decree, civil action file number listed there, and to identify the source of funding and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. Who from the Department of Watershed Management is available to talk to us about this paper?
Todd Hill on the line.
Todd. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Todd Hill, Department of Watershed Management. On July 17, 2020, at 4:10 a.m., a permitted discharge event occurred at the East Area Water Quality Control Facility. Facility operations were initiated in accordance with the operations plan, but due to an operator error, the influent and effluent composite samples were not collected as required by the NPDES permit. The operator failed to carry out their duties to ensure all samplers were turned on, samples collected and delivered to the lab per the sampling plan. To correct this issue, we are administering progressive disciplinary action for failing to follow the sampling plan. Also, we are implementing additional refresher training and creating additional SOPs on documentation and reporting procedures.
All right, thank you. And are you obligated, Mr. Hill, to share the remedial steps that you're taking to the regulatory agencies? Do they want to know about this kind of steps that you're taking?
We always make them aware of the steps that we are taking to correct actions when we fail to sample in accordance with our NPDES permit.
And do they have to sign off on that?
It's just a notification along with the penalty when we make them aware.
All right, colleagues, let's see. Does anyone have a speaker button? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Or are there any questions?
Shook moves approval on substitute.
Thank you.
Second by Winslow.
Thank you very much. If there's no other discussion, please open the vote. So has the vote closed? I see 6 yeas, so is the vote closed, Mr. Evans?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was muted and talking to myself.
Okay.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay. I know the feeling. All right, thank you. The paper is approved on substitute. We do have the walk-in paper, so if you'll read that in, please.
1 moment. This is a resolution by City Utilities Committee to correct Resolution 20R4185 adopted by Atlanta City Council on August 17, 2020, and approved per City Charter Section 2-403 on August 26, 2020, by deleting the duplicate section "Now Therefore" clause referenced on page 2 of the resolution, by correcting the text in the first resolved clause on page 2 of the resolution, and by deleting the duplicative text following the be it finally resolved clause on page 3 of the resolution and for other purposes.
All right, is this someone from the department, or are we ready to make a motion?
Rita Braswell is on the phone if you have questions.
Ms. Braswell?
Yes, good morning. Rita Braswell, Department of Public Works. The purpose of this legislation is to correct Resolution 20R4185. The resolution authorized the mayor or her designee to enter into Amendment Number 1 for SPC 1200488, landfill slope mowing and clearing services with Genesis Testing Services, to amend the scope of services and to add additional funding in amount not to exceed $487,323. The approved legislation contained a duplicative second now therefore clause as referenced. It needs to be corrected, and then also the duplicative text following the be it finally resolved clause on page 3.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you, thank you for that, if the problem was more technical or human error.
It was technical.
And so has that been resolved? Is this something that the new system will address? Or I was just curious about that.
Well, we haven't identified the root cause of it, but when we routed the legislation, it was correct. When it was loaded into ELMS, it was correct. And somewhere between ELMS, the transfer, it became duplicative.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Evans, would you make sure that Mr. Webb and Mr. Pace are aware of the situation to see if it's something that we need to have addressed moving forward with our new system or even correcting in our existing system?
I'll make a note. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Braswell. Colleagues, if there are no questions, I will entertain a motion.
SHIP motion approval.
Thank you. Ms. Winslow?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Shepard?
I'm sorry, my computer froze up. So yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Please indicate yes for Ms. Shepard.
The vote is closed. 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that is unanimous. The walk-in paper moves forward to full council. All right, that concludes our legislation. I understand. Is Ms. Creighton now available?
She has joined us.
Yes, I am.
Good morning, Ms. Creighton. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How you doing, Ms. Archibald?
Very, very well. We have our city committee members on the line for your turn to give us your update.
Okay, can you hold on for 1 second? I got somebody at the door. Who is that? You, Baba Bay? All right, nothing works when you want it to. Okay, I'm back.
All right.
I am the general manager. I don't want to say greetings to everybody on that committee, utilities committee. And what I would like to say is that People TV has been serving the city for over 32 years with Channel 24, and it's been lots of things going on. I'm asking for a brand new start, so a relationship, and the things that have to be done to make People TV a success. And the things that Mr. Howard spoke on, they are in my proposal, in my presentation. So this is the first slide, People TV annual report. Oh, Lord. Somebody calling me, I'm sorry. This is the 2019 report. According to the charter, they're due each December. So the 2020 report will be prepared and presented the 1st of December, as stated in the charter. Is that okay with you, Ms. Archibald?
Yes, thank you, and I hope my colleagues are fine with that as well.
Okay, so now it just states on the first slide that this is the annual report for 2019. It gives a mission statement, and I would definitely like to read that because I want to make sure that everybody understands the purpose of the People TV and the public access television station. The mission of People TV is to provide a voice for alternative community perspectives through innovative technology, diverse programming, and training, to provide the Atlanta community a voice through public access to media technology. This is accomplished by providing the citizens of Atlanta, Georgia, an equal opportunity to create public access programming for People TV, Comcast Cable Channel 24. We offer basic technical training, the equipment and facilities necessary to produce non-commercial programming for individuals, organizations, and institutions in the city of Atlanta. We are a strong advocate to the right of public access and freedom of speech as provided by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Our mission is the operation, development, and management of the public access channel within the Atlanta cable television system. This accords with the terms and provisions of the Cable Television Franchise Agreement. We are a Georgia 501c3 nonprofit organization governed by the Board of Directors. While People TV has a contract, well, we're working on a contract. We haven't had one since 2013, and we are working on a contract with the City of Atlanta to operate its public access cable channel. People TV is not a City of Atlanta entity. All right. We're going to wait to the end to get for questions and stuff, Ms. Archibald.
Thank you. I had it on mute. We can do it either way. So if there's a burning question, we'll interrupt. If not, please just continue with your presentation.
I will. Thank you. On the next slide, the organizational structure. The organizational structure of People TV is governed by and managed by the Board of Directors, consisting of 4 directors appointed by the Mayor's Office. This is what Mr. Howard was stating, and those 4 positions are vacant. 3 appointed by the City Council, and they are also vacant, and up to 10 elected by the People TV Board. We have 9 on board now, and that 1 space is open. At all times, shall the board should not consist of fewer than 7 members. There are 5 full board appointee slots that need to be filled by the Mayor's Office. City Council is 3, as I said before, as of today, which is September the 29th instead of the 28th. And I'm going to change that just for my records. Okay? Now, and here's the breakdown, the lineup of our board members. Dr. Johnny Wilson is the president. Calvin Disnell is our treasurer. Della Brooks, secretary. Valencia Goodman is a member appointed by the board. Corey Tinsley. Jetson White, Ronnie White, Ron Shakir, and Olatunji Lubamba are all appointed by the board. And the next page basically says the same thing, governed by the Board of Directors. And like I said, we are working on a contract, have been without one since 2013, but we have still been filling the terms and agreement with the franchise agreement of having new broadcast, a total, I think it's 8 per 30 days of new broadcast, and having the channel up running 24/7. Our equipment is old, so we have blackouts, but in that time we do fulfill it with free speed TV. Now, People TV currently has 2 full-time employees, and that is the operational program manager, Michael McMahon, and myself. And as of 2019, Dr. Wilson and I presented a draft contract for People TV to Attorney Jay McMalligan, and he reviewed it, and I actually sent a copy to the full board. That was back in February of 2019. Now, this is a breakdown of the employee, Michael McMahon, and the duties that he has and does here at People TV. I'm not going to read all of that. He has a lot of things on his shoulder, and that's one of the things that we're going to be doing is hiring more staff. And then myself, as the general manager, gives a breakdown of some of my bio and the things that I've done and how long I've been here at People TV. I actually came in 1987 when I had first moved from Cleveland, Ohio to Atlanta, Georgia, and met Reverend Williams. And he asked me to come on the show, and I've been down here since then. That's been 1987. On the next slide is the People TV Inc. 2019 financials. The data is non-audited. There is an audit in process now. It hasn't been completed, and the numbers could be adjusted. We have a bank balance as of today of $63,002 in the bank, and to support the revenue, the City of Atlanta annual amount that give us is $180,000. There's approximately $6,150 in channel time applications. Those are the applications that the producers fill out and submit to their program to be played on the channel, and they are cost of $150 per season. The workshops are held. We had 3 workshops that quarterly. Well, we have 4 workshops, and they're $150 for the workshop. And then the donations, we had a $618 donation in 2019, and that total came to $188,553. And I didn't put the decimal behind the 3 and the 2 zeros for that amount. Now, continuing on the financials on the next slide gives our expenses. The rent and the building maintenance, 2019 totaled $86,640. Utilities and office supplies, $28,044. General administration, this should have been over there. I don't know why. My line up, $60,200. Equipment and purchases was $8,023, and miscellaneous expenses was $1,648. Came a total. This whole page is off. $184,555. And as the 12/31/2019, we had a $3,998 balance going over to 2020. Man, they didn't ring the doorbell again. They're going to have to wait. I'm so sorry. Okay, now the next page talks about our community outreach. In 2019, I partnered with a Hands-On Atlanta for volunteers to help in the office. We actually did a big cleaning project where we tossed out a lot of equipment. They painted several rooms, hallways, cleaned the carpet, and that was a big cleanup project that we did with Hands-On Atlanta. We had a project with the Atlanta Public School System. We had internships for the students after school from Washington High, North Atlanta, and Tri-City schools. They came in and was hands-on with the equipment, with the productions that were going on. And one young lady, actually, she wanted to do the administrative side, so she was a receptionist for helping me with the receptionist duties and office management. And that was a big success, and I was hoping that we could have done it again, but since the pandemic, that knocked that out of the box. So we also had someone working with us on the Atlanta Workforce Development. She was a front office receptionist for 4 months. Our nonprofit organization, People TV, cablecast public service announcements for Atlanta, nonprofits free of charge. We cablecast free speech TV after hours and doing power surges to our aged equipment. Operations, we did an upgrade in December 2019 we had been stockpiling equipment for a while, at least I know over a year, where Michael McMahon is a great research person, and he finds equipment at very reasonable price. And he had been keeping it, and we got enough equipment together. We did that TriCaster, and we moved Studio A from one big set to 5 different sets. And Mr. Archibald, I think you were here when the new set came, when you were here. If we had changed the studio around, yes, okay. And we actually, what Michael McMahon did, he upgraded Studio A master control towers and freed up space in both control rooms and cut our Georgia power bill from $1,493 down to $800 a month. So that was a real help in our budget. Now, our server is over 30 years old and is in need of constant maintenance, so Michael is always on call if something happens with that equipment. Our major accomplishments for the year was launching People TV Live on Facebook, upgrading the studio and control rooms, putting together a contract for People TV Inc. and submitting to the city, holding a 24-hour telethon fundraiser, and working with the Atlanta public school system. Our education, one of the core values of People TV is to educate and train citizens to be able to produce free their own shows. Orientation is free. Intro to community television was one of the workshops. Location, camera, and Final Cut Pro editing are some of the classes that we offer. I just want to mention at this time, almost slide new technology and People TV Inc. I'm sorry. But I wanted to say that our income, our revenue has been cut. The participation of the people, the community coming in has been cut even before the pandemic. And we are working on innovative ways to get people involved in coming out because they can use their telephones and all type of tablets and things to make their programs. And that's basically what they're doing. And giving us the programs on different formats for us to broadcast over the air. Our classes, the last class, I think we had about 6 people in that class. And so we are coming up with different ways in order to bring those numbers back up again. I just wanted to put that in there while it was still on my mind. We allow block broadcasting, and we are actually working to acquire 2 mobile units. So we can go to different locations and broadcast, and we also live stream. Now, again, the technology, I'm on technology and infrastructure. People TV Inc. terminated its service agreement with Telview, and with the Michael is so, he was able to take that, we had been paying Telview to service that server for years. And Michael figured out a way to bypass that so we don't have to pay them and keep the server working without whatever they were doing. So I thought that was awesome. And so that's a great plus for us because we were paying them in the amount of $3,000 to $4,000 a year. And our equipment being so old, to me, it seemed as if we broke down more with them servicing it than now that we don't have that situation. So this situation has been going on. We went through an RFP twice, and in that RFP, I want to make sure I make this point. There was a budget set aside for $75,000 for equipment, whoever got that RFP. And since we are still servicing the channel, I really and truly would hope that you guys would consider at least giving us part of that budget or all of it so we can buy a new server, and that'll cut back on a lot of our blackout problems or power surges that goes on with the older equipment. Now, the biggest challenge, being general manager at People TV and People TV's board of directors in the past has faced just awful situations where gradually reducing the strength and effectiveness of the community, of the board, the lack of commitment and engagement, the 35% of the meetings lacking a quorum. As Mr. Howard has stated in his public comments, we need board members that are dedicated to public access television, that are willing to work and develop public access to what it is really and truly meant to be for the people, to have a quorum each time and not have those situations where we can't get anything done. That's very, very important. And as a new day working forward, we can work together to fill the vacancies of People TV. The board with the people has a true passion, like I said, to get people on the board with a true passion. And free speech is our right. Holding a team effort attitude and the sustainability to work with others to keep public access televisions out of the black. Requirements for the future, annual reporting. Now that all of that work, I understand now that I have to make sure I have the annual report come on a regular basis to give you updates on People TV, a budget. I've got my paperwork together for budget and all, and make sure you get the attendance of each board meeting and the absences, resignations, and all that stuff. I plan to work on that, and I really appreciate you guys giving me this time. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
All right, thank you, Ms. Creighton. I'm going to see if I've been bumped off to see if anyone has any.
I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
I was checking to make sure I hadn't gotten bumped off, and I wanted to see if any of the colleagues have any questions for Ms. Creighton.
I am. Okay, I'm going to the door. Go ahead.
Ms. Archibald, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. I see who signed up. Go ahead.
So is People TV still in the same location? Where are they located right now? Is it the same location?
It's at 194. Yep, we're still in the same location for over 30 years, 190 14th Street.
Okay, and in terms of the lease, who's paying the lease? I mean, where's the funding coming for that building? For that building, is that from city funds or is that something you all raise on your own?
It's all of this with city funds and the money that we raise.
Okay. Because I remember at one point I thought y'all were going to have to leave that building. I was just wondering.
We are definitely want to leave this building. We need to downsize. We've got over 8,000 square feet in this building. We only using half of it.
Okay. And what is your lease?
Say again.
How much is the lease?
8,000. It's a year lease. Is over with December 31st, and the rent, the payment is $8,300 a month.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Well, I didn't have, this is Councilmember Winslow. I didn't have a question, Madam Chair, but I do believe, I mean, I get the sense from Ms. Creighton, and I've met with her. I was on one of her shows, and I'm not saying this because of that, but we got a chance to talk. And I went out there, and I just get the sense that she's really trying to make a positive change in terms of turning things around. And so I was encouraged, by the things that she and I talked about. But I hope that she will reach out to the other council members that are on this committee. And, there may be some other questions that council may not think about today, but may come up with over the next couple of weeks that they may want to ask her. And so, Ms. Creighton, I'm sure you'll be available to the council, and you may have already done this, but if you could send your email address and your cell number to those council members, just to all the council members. If that would be in order, Madam Chair. Hopefully I'm not out of order.
That's not. No, that sounds perfectly fine.
Okay.
Ms.
Yes.
So I'm sure you won't have any problems reaching out to council members moving forward, particularly before the end of the year. I would certainly encourage that.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone, if anybody else, two board members waiting to speak? Let's see, who do we have? I can't see. Oh, I can't see. Mr. Chuck.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Creighton, I'm going to have to catch up on your slide deck later. I'm unable to access it today, but could you go back, was maybe on your first slide, and reread the People TV mission statement, please?
Yes. The mission of People TV is to provide a voice for alternative community perspectives through innovative technology, diverse programming, and training to provide the Atlanta community a voice with public access to media technology. This is accomplished by providing the citizens of Atlanta, Georgia, an equal opportunity to create public access programming for People TV Comcast Channel 24. We offer basic technical training and equipment and facilities necessary to produce non-commercial programming for individuals, organizations, and institutions in the city of Atlanta. We are strong advocates of the right of public access and freedom of speech as provided by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Our mission is the operation, development, and management of the public access channel within the Atlanta cable television system. This accords with the terms and provisions of the Cable Television Franchise Agreement. We are a Georgia 501c3 nonprofit organization governed by the Board of Directors. While People TV has a contract with the City of Atlanta to operate its public access cable channel, People TV is not a City of Atlanta entity.
Okay. Thank you. That's an awful lot of very good and well-stated information in there, and I benefited from hearing it again. So thank you. That was my only question for now.
You're welcome.
Okay. Colleagues, any other questions? All right. So let me see if I have no one else is speaking. So, Ms. Creighton, has the board received the July contract from the city?
We are working on that contract with the procurement office. We actually are paying an attorney to look over the contract, made some suggestions, and we are just back and forth. Now we are working on getting the emergency broadcasting outline to them, the emergency evacuation that's asked for in the contract. I have to submit the insurance, the Georgia State Secretary of State office saying that we're in good standards with them. It's just a list of things that we're working on getting together. And they sent us the last contract that we redlined and put the changes and suggestions in it. So they have it now, the procurement office, so we're waiting on them to get it back. Then we'll submit the things on the list, and hopefully we'll be able to get it finalized and get a payment. We have not received a payment from the city since July. The reason we have $63,000 in the bank is because we applied and received the emergency disaster loan from the Small Business Administration, and that's what's been holding us and carrying us over. But we haven't received it. And what I was told is that once the contract is in force and signed off from me and the mayor, the People TV and the mayor's office, then we will get a half of the allotment of $90,000, and then the other half in 6 months. And since you guys are on a year-to-year calendar, our time is running out because it's already September. So we've just been working back and forth on it. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to, change it and make sure we get the full allotment.
All right, yeah, our funding cycles are July 1 to June 30th for the city, so. All right, and as it relates to, so please continue to gather the information that will be required no matter what contract terms you renegotiate. The documents that you just listed are going to be required no matter what, so I encourage you to continue to work aggressively to provide those. The other question that I have is around the People TV board. Now, I know there are a number of vacancies that the City Council could work on filling, and Mr. Evans, Jared Evans, our analyst, has some recommendations relative to sending out a reminder memo to all council members, and I do suggest that we do that to remind our colleagues that we do have vacancies. But my question for you is relative to the composition of the board right now. So how many members constitute a quorum?
7.
7.
No, 5.
And have you?
I think it's 5. I know it's 5, as a matter of fact. Well, because we have 9 members, so it has to be 2/3 of the number of board members on there. So out of 9, 5 is the number that we need a quorum.
So let's go through the math again. So how many vacancies are currently under nomination of City Council, Wayne? How many do the council members need to appoint?
3.
And how many from the mayor's office?
4.
3 and 4 is 7. And how many of those have been filled?
None. Or Dr. Wilson, I'm sorry, Dr. Wilson is one appointee for the mayor's office.
So there's 6 vacancies from council or mayor.
Yes.
And then the other source of appointment is what?
The People TV board itself.
And how many slots are for in that category?
We've got 8 for the board, and we can have up to 10.
So if you do the math, the total number of board members is what? 7 from council or mayor.
17.
How many?
17.
And a quorum is how many? What percentage of that?
If we had 17 members, it would be 8 would be a quorum.
And so you have currently how many members now?
9.
Okay. And so have you been able to meet the quorum requirement for your meetings over the last several months?
For the last 2 months, I can say for sure, we've been we actually appointed one of the members to make sure that to call each board member and make sure they get online so we can have a quorum. Because that's one of the, like I let them know, the president let them know that this is the requirement that we have to do in order to keep the contract.
And are your board members posted online? The minutes from your meetings, the agenda in advance and all of that?
No, I sent out an email to everybody, but you said posted online?
I mean, so that the public could see what's going to be discussed and what action items would be before the board. Is that publicly disseminated in some way?
No. How would I do it? How would I
website?
Send it out? On the website, okay.
I don't know from colleagues, but I would think that would be at a minimum standard that you'd want to maintain, that there was this openness relative to the action items that the board would be taking, any input that you'd like to receive, to know what additional areas of governance that the board might want to look at, and you can get that through having a wider dissemination of information to the public around what you're doing. And so I would say it would be a great idea to do that.
I think so too.
And I don't know. Okay. So, and I don't know if it's in the contract, what the actual contract requires from you by way of records or how you operate. Mr. Evans, do you know of any specific requirements relative to the board meetings of People TV?
Requirements in what sense?
In the
So
charter,
you tell me.
it has list of, in the charter.
In the charter, it has list of, 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 in the charter
Well, I was asking Mr. Evans because he mentioned to me that there are some reporting requirements that will be coming up in December, and I was just wondering if this was part of it.
That's right. In the charter, it mentions several reports that the board of People TV is required to do by December 1st, and it has to do with members and their activities over the year, and a report of the board and its work, and that is separate from that of a report by People TV, Inc.
Okay, so I believe that information has been provided to you, Ms. Creighton. I would ask that the board carefully review that obligation, and we will be expecting for a timely report in December in meeting those expectations.
Okay.
Okay. All right, great. Well, I think that's all I have, colleagues. Anyone else with a question for Ms. Creighton? Let's see. I don't see anyone else in the queue. Go ahead, Ms. Winslow.
Madam Chair, the mission statement that was read, I would like that to be sent, because we do have newer colleagues that are aware of TV, but may not know everything that encompasses it. So I think it would be good for her to send that information just to, educate. And I had forgotten some of it myself, so I'd like to. I'm glad Mr. Shook said, could you read it, to us, because we've been bantering back and forth about other things other than that lately, because we needed to, and to help them kind of get things straightened out over there. So if she could send that as well, I think that would be helpful to everyone.
Okay. I think that's you should send your entire, Ms. Winslow, that's a great idea. Maybe send your entire slide deck to everyone. That might be helpful as well.
I will do that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Ms. Winslow. Anyone else with any questions? I don't see anyone indicating a need to speak. So, Ms. Creighton, thank you so much, and we look forward then to hopefully seeing you in December. If not, virtually, we will hear from you in December.
All right. Thank you so very much, and thank everybody on the committee. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Appreciate your service. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Mr. Evans, are any other items for the good of the body today?
That concludes our business.
All right, colleagues, any questions or comments? I do want to make an announcement that on October 8th, there's going to be the stormwater, the updates to the post-development stormwater ordinance. That's going to be September 8th. Is that at October 8th at 1 p.m. It will be a virtual meeting. Is that correct? Am I recalling that correctly?
That is correct. October 8th, 1 p.m.
All right. Thank you. So if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, and I'll second that. Thank you, colleagues. Great meeting. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.